Welcome to the Warframe Weapon Encyclopedia, where today we're checking out the Latron Wraith. This is a very old weapon indeed. It was originally obtainable during the Chaotic Front operation, which added excavation into the game. It was then reintroduced during the 8th season of Sorties, and you could get all the parts there, and nowadays you simply get all the bits and bobs you need for it from invasion missions. The Latron Wraith is a Mastery Rank 7 semi-automatic primary rifle that does mostly puncture damage with 26% crit chance, a good 2.8 times crit multiplier, and somewhat low 14% status chance, and it sports a 15-round magazine with a 2.4 second reload and a fire rate of 5, which is more than enough for a semi-automatic rifle. Now, while the weapon does have a bit of a kick, it's very easy to get used to after you sort of get the feel for the rhythm, and it is extremely accurate, so basically as long as you can see the enemy, you can shoot them. And finally, the weapon has access to the Latron-specific double tap mod, which you can either get from Conclave or Nightwave, which gives you 20% bonus damage for your next shot for 2 seconds, which stacks up to 20 times outside of Conclave. This can give you a ton of damage for the weapon if you're at least a decent shot, because, you know, the buff is fairly short. Comparison-wise, it is of course a massive upgrade of the standard Latron, sporting higher fire rate, crit chance, crit multiplier, status chance, and damage. But when it comes to the Latron Prime, it is more of a side grade. It has 4% more crit chance and higher fire rate, as well as higher impact damage at the cost of some status and overall damage. Now, as far as the build is concerned, a nice basic build for the Latron Wraith is going to be something like this, a hybrid where you get double crit chance through crit delay and argon scope, and you run hunter munitions and viral. You can of course invest a little bit more into it and make the weapon do even more damage if you run an arcane, galvanize mod, or even the double tap mod. Now, with the setup that I just showed you, the weapon is gonna feel absolutely fine up to sort of level 80 or even 100 if you have a companion or other teammates that are proccing viral on the enemy. Because the biggest issue with this weapon when you're just looking at it on its own is its inability to support its slash procs from hunter munitions with its own viral procs. The status chance is simply a little bit too low. Though that's not necessarily an issue, because a well-built companion will fix that pretty much in its entirety. The Wraith version of the Latron suffers from the same issue that the primed version does. It's a single target weapon in a game where AoE weapons are king. So while it's not necessarily a bad weapon, it just doesn't perform as well as a lot of the other guns. But the damage isn't necessarily bad, and the weapon is pretty fun to use. Just don't expect it to keep up with the Brahmas and the Zars and the Tonkors and all that. Now, when it comes to the Wraith versus Prime debate, it's essentially a question of would you rather have fewer, stronger slash procs and a steady stream of viral, in which case go Prime, or would you rather have weaker but more frequent slash procs with very little viral on the side? In which case, go Wraith. It's kind of pointless to argue about DPS when it comes to these kinds of weapons, as it is much better to simply go by feel. And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.